Honorable Chairman, sir, I rise today to speak in favour of the Railways Amendment Bill 2024. This is indeed a privilege and an opportunity for me. Speaker, sir, the proposed amendment is not just a legislative exercise by the Ministry of Railways. It's a very significant step towards modernizing, simplifying and strengthening one of the most vital institutions of our nation, the Indian Railways. Sir, we are aware of the fact that the Indian Railways was established over 170 years ago. And it's not just a mode of transportation. It is a unifying force. It is an equalizer that binds this vast and diverse nation. I think all of us are aware of this. So from connecting the remotest corners of the nation to driving the economic progress, the Indian Railways has been the lifeline of millions of Indians for ages. And for generations, I can only say that it has symbolized mobility, opportunity, and national pride. So today we have gathered here to speak about the proposed amendment. The Railways Amendment Bill 2024 presented by the Ministry of Railways intends to repeal the Indian Railway Act, Board Act 1905 by suitably incorporating all its provisions into the current Railways Act 1989. Speaker, sir, we need to appreciate the remarkable endeavour of the Ministry of Railways for having not only conceptualized the entire idea of bringing in the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905 into the current Railways Act 1989, but also translating this entire idea, this forward-looking step into reality. So I must tell you that this particular amendment must have been brought by the government which existed a couple of decades back. I must take you to the report of the Joint Parliamentary Committee which was constituted for examining the Bill of 1986, which was presented to the Lok Sabha and thereafter laid in the Rajya Sabha on 21st February 1989. Sir, while examining the Railway Bill 1986, which later became the Railways Act 1989, the then JPC, which had been constituted for the purpose, had recommended the repeal of the Railway Board Act 1905 and the incorporation of all the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905 into the 1986 bill. Sir, I was going through that report and I quote from that particular report. You have to give me some time. So para 40 of that particular report of the JPC says, which was written in 1986, the committee note that while submitting a comprehensive bill to consolidate the law relating to the railways, the government have not included the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905 in the Railways Bill. Railway Board Act 1905 is to be read with the provisions of the Indian Railways Act 1890, and as such, it should appropriately find a place in the new Act. But, sir, unfortunately, the JPC's report was not accepted. Today, Prime Minister Modi's government has come forward and for simple and effective governance has proposed just one law, the Railways Act 1989, with all the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905. This will do away with the need to refer to two laws, and this will definitely simplify the whole system. Sir.
But report was accepted. Government has not taken any action.
Exactly. Sir, it was not incorporated in the bill, I said.
That is.
So to understand the necessity of this particular amendment, we must look at the history of the Indian Railways. Please give me some time. The establishment of the railways.
You have limited time.
Yes. The establishment of the railway network in India was actually associated with the Public Works Department at that point of time during the British era. And thereafter, with the growth of the princely states and the expansion of the railway network in the country, there was a separation of the Indian Railways from the Public Works Department, and the Railway Board Act 1905 was enacted. So we go fast forward to 1989, when the Railways Act 1989 was enacted. This particular Railways Act 1989 replaced the earlier Act of 1890 and provided a very modern and comprehensive framework for railway governance. But, sir, unfortunately, again, this particular act which came, the new law which came, did not incorporate the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905. At the cost of being repetitive, I am saying this. So, sir, we continued with two sets of laws.
Kindly conclude.
Sir, I'll take some time.
Today,
I have
Minister
to come
has
to
already taken
sir,
initiative.
some other portions also.
Okay.
Sir, we continued with two sets of laws all through. The Railway Act 1989 and the Railways Board Act 1905, creating complexity, and hence this particular bill is required. So the functioning and independence of Railway Board will be enhanced with this bill. Sir, at the same time, this is highly pertinent to mention here that there will be no financial implication when we implement this particular amendment, the Railways Act 1989, with the incorporation of the provisions of the Railway Board Act 1905. Sir, the expenditure on Railway Board proposed to be constituted as statutory body under the Railways Act 1989 would continue to be met from the budgetary provision under the revenue segment of the railway budget. And I must inform the House that this time the expenditure, 24-25, the expenditure on the Railway Board would be to the tune of 404 crore. Sir, as I conclude, I'm reminded of the speech of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji from the ramparts of the Indian Red Fort on August 15, 2022. He talked of Panch Pran for the coming 25 years. And he had also said, in this, I quote him, in this Azadi Ka Amrit Kal, new laws should be made by abolishing the laws which have been going on from the time of slavery. So all the ministries of the Government of India had been asked to identify the obsolete laws and draft new legislations that are in consonance, in line with the idea of a resurgent India. And sir, the central government, I'm delighted to say, in the House, identified around 1,500 archaic laws, and they have been actually removed from the system. Sir, the Railways Amendment Bill 2024 is a significant step towards making Indian Railways more agile, more efficient, more modern, and more capable towards serving the needs of the people of this nation. I commend the efforts of the Ministry of Railways, all its officials, and of course, under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi ji, this particular much-needed amendment is going to take place. I seek support of all in this august House for the bill. Thank you so much.